Hey guys, welcome back here to Intuitive Angling, and really appreciate you guys swinging by the channel today to check the video out. Guys, today I just want to have a long talk with y'all about some things that you can do just to catch more fish and be a better angler. It's like if you want to elevate your fishing success to the next level, if you've been stuck for a while and you feel like you just, are not, advancing like what you think you should have, I got quite a few things I'm going to share with you guys today that's really going to help you if you practice them. So we're going to dig into that in today's video here. And it's pretty late in the evening right now, guys. It's about 11 o'clock at night. I got the tackle room door open. You can probably hear all the tree frogs here. Hope it's not too loud there. But anyway, hey, a couple things before we get started, guys. I want to remind you that we do have my Blaukat Living Rubber Throwback jigs back in stock at Tackle Warehouse. These are my Blaukat Throwback jigs made by Cumberland Pro Lures. Living rubber, hand-tied skirts, guys. Quality, second to none. You guys will love this jig. One of the things about it, the living rubber is the superior jig skirt. It gives you a look in the water that silicone simply will not do. And the reason why there's not more companies that make a live rubber jig is they're very labor-intensive to tie. So I partner with Cumberland Lures to design this jig with them. I'll have this in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of the video. We have both my throwback jig, which is the full-size model, and we also got my Blaukat Power Finesse jig, so you can get them both in that link in the description there. And also, guys, real quick reminder, anybody interested in booking a one-on-one private lesson with me, shoot me a Facebook message, Intuitive Angling with Randy Blaukat on my Facebook page. Get you guys all the details with that. I do most of my lessons at Table Rock and Stockton Lake here in Missouri. So thank you for putting up with the plugs there. Appreciate that. Okay, guys, once in a while, I just like to have just a laid-back conversation with you guys without showing tips and, being behind the filming desk up there, and just sort of have just sort of a relaxing conversation, almost like a podcast a little bit. So that's what I wanted to do here. One of the things that, before I get into this, I want to reiterate, bass fishing is not an easy sport on public bodies of water. If you fish public bodies of water, guys, it is not easy most of the time. Most of the time, it's hard to catch fish, even when they're biting good. And there's a lot of different reasons for that. If you fish, private bodies of water, or farm ponds or stuff like that, you're sort of not in the real world of fishing. But if you're out on a heavily fished body of water, it can be, tough to catch them, especially if you're not an advanced angler with all the latest and greatest gear and technology. If you're just, getting started in the sport, or if you're what you consider an average angler, it can be frustrating. So I've been there, done that. I know what that's like. So be kind to yourself, because if you struggle fishing, join the crowd. We all do. We all have tough days on the water, and nobody figures them out all the time. So that's the first thing. Okay, now if you want to see a big increase in your fishing success, I'm going to show you how and talk to you guys about how to do it. Whether or not you take my advice, I don't, it's up to you. But I can assure you guys, the stuff that I'm getting ready to tell you, if you institute it and you practice it in your fishing, you will notice a marked increase in your fishing success, specifically over the next year throughout the 4 seasons. Now, one of the things about doing these videos that I get a good vibe for what people want to hear and what they don't want to hear. And the things that people want to hear are the quick fixes. New baits, new colors, that type of stuff gets a lot of traction. The thing that people do not want to hear and they don't want to watch is things that require time in the sport. Now, if you want to become a successful angler consistently, you have got to shift that way of thinking, and you've got to put your interest in those things that take longer to accomplish. And the main thing that we're talking about with this is understanding the fish themselves, understanding their seasonal habits, their seasonal movements, their moods and their personalities, how weather patterns affect them, how fishing pressure affects them, how they operate within their environment. You've got to become a student of it. You will never get to the next level without it. I hear the coyotes back there. The coyotes are running in the field behind it. So that's the first thing you got to do. So you got to have this internal shift. The first thing that you want to do, try to absorb as much information as you can, which is readily available, like on YouTube. You guys hear them? bunch of coyotes back there. There's a lot of information readily available on understanding seasonal movements in fish. This is going to, once you understand this, or once you have a basic knowledge of the seasonal movements of the fish, it is going to put you at the right place at the right time a lot quicker, and you're going to be on top of the fish more consistently. So you have to understand where the fish are going to be at different times of the year by factors like water temperature, water level, water clarity, weather patterns that affect the fish, daylight hours, all that type of stuff affects them. Every single season that you fish, there is some type of change within the fish. You know, January has a certain, thing that the fish do. They make a change in February. They make a change in March. They make a change in April. Every single month, the fish move somewhere else and they do something else different, and they have a different mood and personality. And those mood and personalities that they have at different times of the year affects the lures and the techniques and the areas that those fish are going to be in. So I could sit here and talk a week about the nuances of bass movement behavior, but that's something you're going to have to sort of learn on your own. I've done a lot of videos on it. If you guys go back in my playlist and click on the bass behavior, playlist that I have a ton of videos on it. If you guys can absorb with that. But try to do that, guys. And I know that a lot of people don't want to do it because it takes some time and it takes effort and it's not immediate gratification. But unless you do that, you're going to stagnate as an angler. Okay, so that's number one. The next thing with it is you really have to be an amateur meteorologist. You have to study weather. And there's two factors that change fish a lot more than anything else. And those factors are weather patterns that roll through and fishing pressure and recreational boat pressure. So you got two different facets there. You got weather changes like your wind speed, wind direction, barometric pressure, your light intensity out, temperature, all that type of stuff. And then you've got the noise decibel level factor. Different times of the year, you've got more or less noise decibels. That has the same effect on bass as weather patterns do. If you look at it, how bass react to decibel levels of noise in the water is a direct correlation on how they react to environmental changes from weather patterns. So you sort of have to study that and see how that changes as it moves through the season. That's the main thing. Okay, the next thing is a real basic one, but it is something that it's probably the number one most important thing in order to, consistently catch a lot of fish. You have got to become the best caster that you possibly can. If you cannot put your bait where you need to put that bait, the number of fish that you catch are going to be drastically reduced. I mean, guys, I do a lot of on-the-water lessons, and a lot of the people I take out on my on-the-water lessons, they are getting into fishing. They're started out, so a lot of them may not be the best casters, and I can take them to an area that's got a lot of fish in it, and the fish are biting, but a lot of times they can't catch them because they can't make the cast. When I say put your bait 3 inches away from the corner of that boat dock, and you'll probably catch one. If they put it 3 feet away from that boat dock instead of 3 inches, they're not going to catch one. And that goes true for everything that you do. You have got to be able to put that bait where you want it. That sounds like a basic 101 obvious tip, but you'd be surprised how many people that are not very good casters. And it makes a huge impact on your fishing success, especially when you're target fishing. It also makes us, even if you're fishing offshore, it has an impact on it, but specifically if you're throwing at something. In correlation with that, if you're going to be in a boat, and if you're not on the bank or if you're not wading creek or something like that, you have got to be a master at running that trolling motor. When I'm talking about a master at running the trolling motor, I'm talking about a master at boat positioning in relationship to your casting skills. Now, these are the two most important things in fishing, guys, as far as the actual act of catching fish once you are around some fish. If you can be around a ton of fish, and if you are a terrible caster and your boat positioning skills are bad, you're not going to catch many fish. But you can be in a situation where there may not be that many fish, and if your boat positioning skills and your casting, skills are top notch, you're still going to catch some good fish with that. So practice that a lot. Practice being in your boat and understanding how your boat moves. Understand how hard or easy it is to get your boat stopped and started. Don't slop through the areas. Don't fish too fast. Don't fish too slow. Find the right pace. When you come up to an object in the water, don't just, roll into that object haphazardly. You have to analyze the situation. Look at the sun angle. Look at the wind speed. Look at the wind direction. Pay attention to if there's any current. Pay attention to where the shade's at. And as you're approaching that piece of cover, position your boat accordingly in order for you to make that cast. And this stuff, guys, I cannot reiterate how important it is and how your fishing success will take a noticeable increase if you have just some basic mastery of that. Big deal with it. Okay, the next thing is you have to do two things as an angler. You have to decide if you want to be a versatile angler or if you want to be a specialist. Now, in a tournament sense, you're not going to be very successful in this sport of professional fishing if you are a versatile angler. You can make money and you can make checks, but you're not going to make big windfalls. The people that make big windfall profits in tournament fishing are the specialists. The people that are, when everything lines up for what they do well, they're going to win. Like David Fritz when he was deep cranking back in the 90s. Like Tommy Biffle or Denny Breyer flipping a jig. Like, Jimmy Houston throwing a spinnerbait back in the day. Just, stuff like that. Mark Davis with a Carolina rig. You got to be a specialist in order to take advantage of catching the biggest bags. As a recreational angler, you have to decide what you want. Do you want to be consistent? Do you want to catch big bags? Do you want to catch big fish? And that sort of dictates how you want to come up with your own fishing style. And ultimately, that's what you have to do, guys. Everybody has got abilities that are uniquely their own in fishing. You have abilities that I don't have. I have abilities that you don't have. You got abilities your buddy doesn't have and vice versa. So you have to develop your own style. But you have to have a foundation somewhere. And that foundation lies within a fine line between being a versatile angler and being a specialist. Makes a lot of difference with that. Another one, guys, and I'll sort of wrap it up without letting this video go forever, is you got to work on your attitude and you got to work on your mindset when you're fishing. Fishing is a mental game. If you do not think it's a mental game, you are never going to understand fishing or you're never going to be that successful in it. You have got to be present and focused and really be in tune with what you're doing in order to maximize your fishing success. That's why I'm a big proponent of being quiet in a boat. I don't talk much in a boat because I need to focus on what I'm doing. So every cast that you make, now this is one exercise I'm going to give you guys right here. Every cast that you make, you need to be feeling like you expect to catch one on that cast. If you don't feel like it, if you don't feel like that you're getting ready to get a bite on every single cast, you need to make an adjustment. Change your area, change your bait, whatever. You have got to have that mindset that you're going to catch them, every cast. Another thing was when you start out in the morning, you have to have this mindset that I'm going to catch some good fish today. And you tell yourself, it's like, I don't know how I'm going to catch them. I don't know when I'm going to catch them. I don't know if it's going to be in the first 5 minutes or at the end of the day, but I'm going to find some fish. I'm going to work and I'm going to be at the right place at the right time, and I'm going to have a good day on the water. You got to play these mental games with yourself. You got to visualize your success. You got to picture in your mind before it happens you catching fish. It's a mental game that you have to play all the time. And it's as simple as something like this. Let's say, for example, you went 6 hours without a bite and you've only got 2 hours left to fish. You have to tell yourself, okay, I went 6 hours without a bite. You know what that means? That means I'm getting closer and closer and closer to catching some fish and figuring them out. It's just a matter of elimination. So you have to maintain that attitude. And guys, if you maintain that attitude and you become a student of the fish and you understand seasonal patterns and movements, and you become a master at boat positioning and casting skills like that, I can assure you your fishing success is going to explode as far as your consistency. So anyway, guys, hope it helps out. We'll talk later.